This is Movie and a Beer, a podcast based in Portland, Oregon, where you can share in our discussion about movies and what beers go best with them. From classic cinema to the latest blockbuster, we all can use a little help figuring out what beers to enjoy in the theater or at home. So listen in and explore with us the vast world of ales and lagers to pair up with your movie experience. Hello and welcome to Movie and a Beer. My name's Dan Kapersky. I'm one of your hosts, and tonight we have with us...
I am Blake Hunt. I am the literature expert.
Oh, nice. And we also have with us...
And I am Randall Garcia, and I am just a lover of beer and cinema.
Oh, nice.
Good man.
And a host, and a dad, and a lover of this film that we watched. Oh my God, let's talk about Little Women.
Yes, it's an amazing film. So today... on Movie and a Beer, we're going to be discussing the 2019 Oscar-nominated film Little Women. And a couple of us, myself and Blake, went to the St. John's Cinema Twin Cinemas, watched the film in person. Amazing environment. It's a smaller theater that we watched. We watched upstairs.
It's a real nice theater.
It was really nice. It was like being in a man cave where you can have food and beer and just really have a really good time with it. So
okay.
Nice.
The second floor was a lot nicer.
Yes.
I mean, the whole building has incredible architecture.
Yep.
Like I really like it.
It's very nice. So
all right.
you saw the film, Randall, downtown at...
I saw it at Cinema 21.
Cinema 21 in Northwest Portland.
Yes,
Nice.
Northwest. Blocks from my house.
Smart.
So, easy trip to the cinema for me.
Nice.
And I saw it on a whim. I wasn't planning on seeing this film, and I found myself with nothing to do on a Thursday night, and took a chance on a film that I was pretty certain I wasn't going to like, but I actually really liked it.
I think I'm in the same boat, because you recommended it, and I thought, yeah, okay, I'll watch it, fine. I like Greta Gerwig and most of the actresses, fine.
Mm-hmm.
And like 30, 40 minutes in, I was like, man, this is a really good movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, I think I've seen one of the original or second remakes of it on Turner Classic Movies a number of years ago. So I had some exposure to the film ahead of time, but not this remake of it, which is obviously done differently. Mm-hmm. The director does adjust the timeline, breaks the story into smaller pieces. So for those that don't know, it covers the history or the story of the March, M-A-R-C-H, sisters, Jo, Meg, Amy, and Beth. This version of it does have multiple timelines and uses flashbacks within each timeline to explain the situation that they're in, or how the situation led to where they make some decisions about their lives. It's done in the, I want to say, Civil War era of the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I feel like a sign said 1871.
Yeah.
At some point.
So it's an incredible story of these young women who go from adolescence. Their father is off fighting the war, and I'm going to read my notes because I actually spent some time reading various descriptions of the film and used my own language. So this is a story woven into a strong tapestry of action, reaction, regret, and forgiveness. With a strong emotional presence, the sisters' interaction from adolescence into adulthood provides us many ups and downs, which holds the audience's attention.
Dan, did you write that? That was beautiful.
I actually wrote that.
Feel free to cut that out.
I read a bunch of different reviews to kind of formulate my thoughts on it, to be like, make sure I don't miss something. And it's a roller coaster, up and down.
Oh, yeah. I did not expect the emotional...
It's a tearjerker in some scenes. It really is.
Yeah, I didn't expect the emotional, just heartstring tugs that were going to happen. I should have. I knew it was a classic novel and that it sold out on a regular basis when I used to work in a bookstore. But just going in, I thought, I like these actresses. I like the director. It'll be fun. It seems like a romp. But halfway through, quarter through, I was like, oh man, these characters I've bonded with. Oh no.
Yeah, so Greta Gerwig has both been a prolific actress in Hollywood. She's been in over 20 different things. She's directed probably about 15 to 20 different things, both TV and film. Mm-hmm. Her most recent major film was called Lady Bird.
Yes.
There's an awful lot of really good things out about her in her style of approaching storytelling. A lot of, at least from what I've seen, the storytelling is broken into smaller pieces. They allow the viewer to get attached to certain parts, and then those get thrown up in the air, and you don't know how they're going to land.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an emotional roller coaster. What did you think,
Yep.
Randall? You thought this was an awesome film. What did
Yeah,
you
I was going to
think?
say, like,
Well, I think I just appreciated how cinematically beautiful it was in terms of just how composed all the shots were, and how it really felt like you were looking at some of the scenes, especially when one of the main characters was at the beach with her sister.
yes.
I feel like you could just like freeze frame that scene, images from that scene, and they would make beautiful paintings. And it was fun. I thought the pacing was really fun. I never got bored. I liked their use of, I think usually it's kind of a little cheating when movies kind of jump around to different timelines, and it's often, I just feel like it's not done really well in most movies. But the way they bounce back and forth between timelines, I never felt lost or confused. It really felt like the movie just unfolded in a way that kept me in it the entire time.
Randall, I'm really glad to hear you say that, because I feel like I thought I was the only one who enjoyed what I've described as non-hand holding time jumps in storytelling, where like you have to use like screen context clues to catch on to like when it's different. Like it's in the trailer, like Joe cuts her hair. They do that in the trailer where like she cuts her hair. We don't know why until we see the movie, but she does that, and then like later on she jumps forward and then back, and you're like, all right, so now we're back when she sold her hair. All right, cool. Now we're back in the present. All right, cool. I really liked it.
And
Who is-
previous iterations of the film did not do that. They did not really have that much jumping around of the storytelling from what I've seen.
Interesting.
I think this is a definite approach to filmmaking and storytelling that works effectively with this very long, while it doesn't really cover but a few years in their lives, the things they do while they're interacting with each other and making decisions about themselves and their family and how they want to support their family versus, hey, I really have a whole lot of things I want to do in my life. I want to be successful. I want to marry a rich guy. We aren't alive during that time. We don't really know what it was like. So this is a best guess of that time period and how the women thought of themselves and how they fit into society. Realistically, from my perspective, from a filmmaking perspective, I actually didn't think they stretched it very far when it came to the scenes, to the background, to the setting. It's fairly simple. There's no complex, other than they transitioned to France, but that could have been anywhere in Georgia because it's the same trees and the same environment.
We.
Yes. So I, from a visual standpoint and a storytelling standpoint, simple.
Who was your favorite March sister?
Jo.
Jo.
She was
Jo?
dominant.
Really?
I liked Meg. Although I frankly like Emma Watson in anything she does. Like,
Yeah.
she's such a good actress.
I was ready to hear her say Patronus. But yeah, no, we won't go there.
Expecto Patron, and she just slams some shots.
Saoirse, is that her, how do you say her name? Saoirse Ronan? Is that the actress? Cersei.
I said it right earlier once, and I can't remember. That was
Saoirse.
Shorzy.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I think Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah.
It's Irish.
It's an amazing. I mean,
yeah,
all the actresses
I like her.
and actors. The simple fact that the father.
I'm not going to say who, but it's a fun little cameo for comedy nerds.
You might recognize him from such TV shows as
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
And Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Yes.
And then the Netflix reboot, I think just Bob and David.
Yes.
I think that was also good.
Yeah, they have some pretty good actors in it, and
Laura Dern and Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Meryl Streep's.
I think me and Madeline, right? Madeline bonded over Meryl Streep's portrayal as Aunt Madge.
Yes.
I think. I knew she'd bad with names. I'm getting all these names right.
So it's amazing that I felt it very odd that the money and how money worked in the society at that time, they wouldn't just give it to people, like even their own family members. You have to struggle before, and then I have to die before I give it to you.
I mean, it shows it tells the person with money that the person without money wants to earn it.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's how I saw it.
It felt very selfish.
Yep. Welcome to old-timey America.
Yeah.
And current
I'm just-
America. And sorry, was that Randall?
I'm just glad I wasn't alive then.
Same.
It just seemed like not a lot of fun. You know, it just seemed like a really horrible time in American history.
Well,
You know,
yeah, you
the
die from scarlet fever.
Civil War. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that could cause you to die an agonizing death, and there's not anything you can do about it when that happens. You're just like,
I mean,
okay.
for the girls, Christmas was like bringing food to someone even more less fortunate, and then all like being together as a family as the father wrote a letter that the mother read. Like that's how you got
Email.
news. You
It's
could
like-
just text somebody and say, "Oh, hey, be ready in 20." It was like months later. Oh, I miss you, my dearest Aberdeen.
Yeah, we're gonna hear from you every 6 months.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's rough.
But I liked it. I
So-
liked the movie overall. Thank you, Randall, for
Yes.
having seen it
Oh,
and
yeah.
suggesting we should watch it.
Definite thumbs up on that one.
After Marriage Story, we
Good
needed
call.
to watch something a little more uplifting.
A little bit more pleasant,
Yeah.
as they would say.
And I could totally see why it got nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, absolutely. This
I'm
makes
not
sense.
sure if it'll win necessarily, given the lineup of Best Picture. I think it's towards the top.
If we had a commercial to insert, this is where it would go. Welcome to Movie and a Beer Part 2. Let's talk about the beers that we enjoyed while we watched Little Women at the
Yay.
St. John's Cinema Twin Theater.
Hold on.
And
When we
Randall
watched
at
Little Women,
Little Women.
you put the, and that sounds
It's not
awkward.
I'm sorry. It's in the notes as watching Little Women at the St. John's Cinema Twin, and the beer that Randall enjoyed at Cinema 21 here in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
For the two of us there were three of us that went to go see the film here in St. John's. We were able to select out of, I think, 7 or 8 different beers. It was really nice. They had a huge range, really nice, and you got the half-size pitcher, so we each got a half pitcher.
Which apparently, if you want to just drink from the pitcher, it's allowed.
It's allowed.
It's a, I guess, state law.
Yeah,
that 32
so
ounce is the highest.
30,
something.
but a 32-ounce container is the largest size you can drink without having to pour it into another container.
Interesting.
And these small pitchers fit within that size. So the people selling us the beer at the counter were like, do you want the glass or do you want to drink straight out of the pitcher? And we were like,
Which threw me for a real loop. Like, guess
I was
glasses?
also verklempt. I was like, oh yeah, well, if we're going to share, maybe we should get some glasses. So
But yeah, excellent range.
yes, excellent range of beers. The two of us selected were the Mount Hood Brewing Cloud Cap Amber and the 10 Barrel Profuse Juice, which is a juicy New England style IPA. The Cloud Cap Amber was about 5% ABV, and the Profuse Juice, it was 6.5%, even though it didn't taste like it. It was really
Right?
thin and shallow and didn't taste like it had that kind of alcohol content on it.
Right. So be careful.
Yeah, so be careful.
Hydrate or
And-
dihydrate.
Hydrate or dihydrate. And yes, of course, drink lots of water, eat food, do what you need to do. And Randall, what did you have?
Fort George IPA.
He had the Fort George IPA.
Ooh,
Most
that is
excellent
good.
choice. Really good beer. We've discussed amongst ourselves a few ways of approaching the situation. So this film does have a great slow beginning with a lot of build up.
It really takes its time early on.
It takes its time early on. It's a little slow. So we both enjoyed the beers we selected, and then we switched them up. We tried each other's beers, and then we're just like, oh, hey, wait a second. The second part of the film has a little bit of more
It's a
seriousness
little,
to
a
it.
little heavier subject matter.
So we came to the conclusion, while both the beers that we selected were really good, we may want to suggest a lighter beer in the beginning and a heavier beer towards the end. Simply because the film itself does have a lot of heavy moments, some tearjerker moments.
Almost like a big tonal change. At a certain point, when I think Randall referenced the main character with a sister at the beach, that's kind of almost like a massive turning point of, oh, I should finish off this lager and get myself a double IPA or a stout or something like
Yeah, something a
that
little
you're going to
heavier.
sip slower while you just absorb incredible and heavy acting that's about to come up.
The very sadness of losing a sibling. Plot spoil.
Spoiler alert: we win the Civil War.
Wait, what? Good
Yes,
for us.
the father comes back. They
Father
open
comes back.
The aunt dies, leaves them the house.
I let you
and
forget about that until
they
you just said it now.
open a school for both boys and girls because there aren't any good schools in their area.
Again, not a fan. Not a fan of this time period.
Yeah, it's
Well-
rough.
Well, before I forget, how do you feel about the whole Dan and Blake opinion of light beer earlier on, and if you can, switch to a dark beer later? Or would you say just stick to one and kind of keep going through?
Yeah, I think you got to pick up your. I think you just by the time they get to all the dying stuff, I think you should be a little buzzed. I think it's so like whatever gets you there, whatever gets you buzzed. I think because it's dark, it's sad at the end. So yeah, heavier beer, stronger beer towards the end, something light. Definitely something light at the beginning. Yeah, the film was so fun in the beginning, and then it just kind of turned the corner and
they're going to
it got
dances.
sad. Yeah.
There's
and it wasn't.
It's an amazing approach to society at that point in time, but then the reality of, hey, there's somebody down the road that we've been giving things to that are less fortunate. Her husband's off, they're poor, they have nothing, and it's literally a shack with like bare walls, and literally like you can see outside through the gaps.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, they're surviving in this. So it gives you some warmth to know that there are people who are willing to go out beyond what they needed to do, but it's just really sad how that then turns around and bites them for an unfortunate thing. It's like, oh, hey, I had the measles and the mumps and scarlet fever and blah, 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 but you didn't, and you just now got exposed as an adult, and you're going to die.
Ugh.
It's just sad. Yeah, as you said, like this time of being alive in the United States was, or in, the world in general, not so pleasant. Easy to die.
I'm never going to complain about this era ever again after watching that film or any film that takes place. I mean, come on, like we have the internet.
Yes.
Like,
hold on, the internet what?
The interwebs.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not allowed on that.
Yes. So I think we all agree. Great film to watch. You can watch it at home. You can watch it at the theater. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference where you watch it. The theater experience is a little nicer. It's
a little nicer, but this film kind of works when you can get this film on DVD, it will work well at home as much as the theater.
Yeah, watch it on demand.
It's not a big, massive story.
Yeah,
it's a small story about a small family.
Yeah, and snuggle up in a blanket, have a nice drink to start, maybe some wine or a mixed drink, and then move to something heavier. Or just start with a lighter beer and move to a heavier beer. We both, all of us agree that I think starting light and then moving into something heavier is appropriate simply because of the gravity or the gravitas of what the actors, the story goes through and what it tells and portrays. And yes, it's amazing. The women control their lives, take them over, and do what they want to do with them. It's just they have to sacrifice a few things here and there to get there. So that's not unlike anything normal today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's well said.
Randall, any last thoughts?
No, I mean, nope. I think if anybody on the Oscar committee is listening, I think this should win.
Compared to the other films, yes. I think
so. I'm looking at the list and I'm thinking there's nothing on here that's like. I mean, Parasite, obviously. Wow, what a film! But I'm bummed that Uncut Gems is not on this list. And so I'm thinking this is definitely one of my top favorite films for 2019. And the beer, Fort George, can't go wrong. Yes. Available all year round.
All year round. Really good IPA.
Real quick, Dan, is Fort George available all over the place? Do you know? Or...
It's more specific to the Pacific Northwest. I do know that they're not using. I think they use a local distributor. I would say that they're probably going through maybe Columbia for some of their local. You can get them in cans and on draft in a lot of places in the Northwest, Seattle, Portland area, down to Eugene and Salem. But beyond that, probably not.
Okay, so listeners outside of Oregon, make sure to come by, check out the St. John's Theater in North Portland, and get a Fort George beer. I don't usually recommend going to a movie theater for when you're touring, but it's a really nice theater. Yeah. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, the St. John's Cinema Twin and then the Cinema 21 in Northwest, they're both really amazing cinema experiences. Thanks for listening, and as always, drink responsibly. And please note that the opinions expressed during this taping of this podcast are those of the hosts exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
And as always...
hydrate or dihydrate.
Exactly. All right, so this is Dan Kapersky signing off. Thank you for listening.
This is Blake Hunt signing off, and...
this is Randall.
All right, Randall. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will catch you on our next episode. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. This has been Movie and a Beer. Stay tuned for future episodes and features to be added to our website and podcast. And please remember to drink responsibly and hydrate. hydrate.